Hello and welcome, Royals Empire, to the Royal Way here on Stadium Drive Sports. I am your host, Sean Barr, and you have found the best Kansas City Royals talk show because we have news, stats, analysis, and all those long words that make this show sound really great. You can also catch Kansas City Chiefs news stuff. They're at the 12th Man at Arrowhead Drive, hosted by Kevin Britton. New shows will be posted every Monday and Wednesday, so be sure to get in your Chiefs fix there and then. And also featured on Stadium Drive Sports Channel is The Combo Show, where we combine the two shows and discuss various topics between the two sports. And we do encourage you to join us and send in your questions and comments, and we will interact with you and go over some Chiefs and Royals talk. You can participate in all this live on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. And plus, coming soon on Fridays, we will feature a new show called Fantasize This, a fantasy football experience sure to please every fantasy football player from couch to couch, providing inside analysis and opinions to help you win your league. The Royals made some roster moves Saturday, cutting the roster down to 34 players. Teams will have an expanded 28-man roster until May 1st, so more cuts are to come to get them down to that 28-man mark. And the Royals currently have 19 pitchers on their roster after these cuts. We went with younger arms to start the season, as the Royals sent down 3 veterans to the minors. Mike Matheny is entering his 3rd season as the Royals manager. It was all uncertain until a few days ago whether or not the Royals would exercise the option they had on his contract through the 2023 season next year. All doubts could be put to rest, as Matheny, after coaching the St. Louis Cardinals for 7 years, will remain the Royals skipper until at least 2024. He has exactly 100 wins in KC, 122 losses, but it's early. He's 691 and 596 overall for his career, so he's experienced success, and he looks to implement his winning ways into the KC ball club. The state of Kansas is getting closer to legalizing sports betting. From apps to Barstool sports betting, soon you will be able to place wagers on any applicable sports bet in Kansas City by next year. Well, that's Kansas. Kansas. Missouri is trying to catch up, but I feel there might be an urgency to get this done before the state of Missouri. Kansas would love to build a new stadium for the Chiefs. That's right, they're looking to take the revenues from the sports betting and they could help fund different aspects of the relocation. It will be interesting to see how this develops over the year. There's a lot of money to be made, and it's much funner to play than the lottery, I'll tell you that. I'll get into further details of stadium relocation on a future episode soon. And as you know, there have been proposals presented of a downtown stadium for the Royals. It's been around 50 years since the two teams started sharing the Truman Sports Complex, and I'd like to hear everyone's opinion on the stadium downtown by the river. Yeah, I don't know if I'd like the downtown traffic too much, and no tailgating? There's a lot to discuss on that topic. The 2022 regular season is almost here. My Thursday episode will be focused on the start of the season and a look at opening day. As for today's episode, we will go over those changes in the roster made over the weekend, and we will examine the players the Royals have left before the final cut to 28 before May 1st. It'll go to 26 after then. We'll go over some of the Royal Way projections and review the Royal spring training results. And plus, all the original segments you love, and of course I will present the Royal Way Viewer Prize of the Week. Just stay tuned.
Let's play ball!
The San Diego Religious Fathers versus the Kansas City Royals. I am not fooling you, but on the evening of Friday, April 1st at Peoria Stadium, the Royals encountered the San Diego Padres, and they're a true contender to take the NL pennant. Andrew Benintendi got a sacrifice RBI in the first that scored Whit Merrifield, and the Padres answered back in the bottom half of the first with a solo home run. And that same player, Grisham, then had a RBI double to right center the next inning. And San Diego added another run in the second frame to make it a 3-1 game. And Salvi got a hold of one in the third and smashed it to the deepest part of the park to make it a 1-run game. But afterwards, the game kind of went quiet, and the Padres added an RBI single in the sixth to extend the lead for good and get a 4-2 win. The Seattle Boat People versus the Kansas City Royals. Both teams had the same powder blue uniforms on. It's kind of hard to tell the difference. The Seattle started the scoring off with a single from Luis Torrens that scored 1 in the top of the first. Michael A. Taylor had a solo home run to left to tie it up in the second. The next inning, Andrew Benintendi singled in Witt Jr., and later in the third, Carlos Santana doubled to score Benintendi for his 7th RBI. Torrens for the Mariners also hit a solo home run in the fourth, and that started a trend as Seattle had another solo home run the next inning by Luis Rodriguez. Plus, the Mariners got a 2-run homer in the 6th by Dylan Moore, his 3rd, and they added another on an RBI double in the 7th. Cam Gallagher got hip to the trend as he hit a solo shot to left in the bottom half of the 7th. O'Hearn had an RBI single to add to the inning, and a sacrifice and a couple of RBI singles by Massey and Eaton weren't enough. Seattle hits another home run in the 9th to make it a 10-8 lead that would stand in the end. Former Royal Mike Moustakas started the game off for the Reds with an RBI double. I'm sure there were no harsh feelings, but the Reds took a commanding 5-0 lead in the first inning. Both Bobby Witt Jr. and Cam Gallagher hit solo home runs in the 3rd. Cam hit one in the last game, and Hunter Dozier then followed suit with a smash to center in the 4th to make it a 4-5 game at that point. The Reds hit a couple of dingers of their own late, and Cincy takes the win at home 10-6. We might get to see old Lorenzo Cain on this next game against the Brewers tomorrow at 8:40 Central Time p.m. It's the final spring training game of the schedule. And since it is that close to the regular season, let's go ahead and wrap up these spring training results. We'll take a quick look at the schedule there, and it started off with the tie with Texas, moved on to consecutive wins, 5 in a row for the Royals. Then they got on a streak of about 3 losses. And they got back on track, and it was sporadic after that, but don't worry about it. It's just practice. You know, we're in and out with players. They only get to see the plate a couple times during the game and only a few innings pitching. And after the cut Saturday, bringing the roster down to 43 men, these are the players assigned to minor league camp. You'll see a few veterans, but you'll also see a few players that you will see during the season later on, like Vinny Pasquantino, Nick Prado, MJ Melendez. They're young, they've got some work to do. They might be down there, but they are not out. The current Royals pitchers as it stands are Scott Barlow, Jake Brentz, Chris Bubich, Taylor Clark, Dylan Coleman, Amir Garrett, Zach Greinke, Jonathan Heasley, Domingo Tapia, Carlos Hernandez, Brad Keller, Jackson Kowar, Daniel Lynch, and Joe Piams, Brady Singer, Colin Snyder, Gabe Swire, Josh Stalmont, and Angel, I knew I'd mess up a name. Angel Zerpa. Anyways, the ones marked with an asterisk are the ones you will see more frequently during the year. Those are your starting pitchers and your main closers. There's 19 pitchers in total right now. You might see it drop down to about 14 to 12. And here's a look at your current Royals position players. Players marked with an asterisk are your starters. Your backups ain't bad. You'll see a lot of them. Cam Gallagher, Emmanuel Rivera, Nathan Eaton, Kyle Isbell, Ryan O'Hearn, Edward Olivares, and especially Edward Olivares. He has been probably the MVP of your spring training this year. And I guess since I have my own sports show, I can just declare him spring training MVP. There we go. Alright, let's take a look at the Royal Way's projected starting lineup for your opening day against the Cleveland Guardians. Let's see: Merrifield, Lopez, Perez, Benintendi, Santana, Dozier, Mondesi, Bobby Witt Jr., and Michael A. Taylor. Let's see how Bobby Witt Jr. handles his first day in the majors. And on the mound on opening day, you'll find our ace, welcoming back Zach Greinke. Now let's take a look at the Royals' starting pitching rotation. Of course, we've got Zach Greinke as our ace. We've got Brad Keller that's in the 2nd spot, and Daniel Lynch slides in the 3rd. And you got Brady Singer, Carlos Hernandez, and Chris Bubich. You kind of work them around how you want. They might have a 6-man rotation this year. And when we take a look at the Royals bullpen, we pray. No, I'm just kidding. We got Jackson Kowar, Dylan Coleman, Angel Zerpa, Jake Brentz, Joel Piams, Josh Stalmont, Amir Garrett, who we just acquired, and closer Scott Barlow, who did well last year. Alright, Royals Empire, we got to go to commercial. And when we get back, I'll have this week's viewer prize and show you all your favorite segments you love to watch. Stick with me.
Hey there, I'm Kevin, host of the 12th Man at Arrowhead Drive. Be sure to tune in every Sunday and Wednesday for all your Chiefs content right here on Stadium Drive Sports.
Smoking cigarettes is bad. Watching the royal way is good. Biohazard warfare? That's certainly bad. Royal way, that's certainly good. Yankees fan? Please. The royal way, please. Ew. Yay. Oh, they're bad. Good, bad. Good, bad. No, those are actually good. You get the idea. Watching the royal way is good. The reserved parking for Royals Only fans sign was not claimed by anyone. So, it's good news for me. I get to keep it. That's why it's still in my background. But we've got a new viewer prize, and we'll see if we get any responses. This week's Royal Way viewer prize is 2 tickets to Parker McCollum. He's a country singer, and he'll be in Independence at the Cable Dahmer Arena. And you could be randomly selected to win if you only email us after the show at stadiumdrivesports@gmail.com using keyword fountain. It's now time for the Royal Way's Best to Ever Wear It Awards. We're now recognizing the lucky number 7. And the nominees are John Mayberry, Don Slott, Greg Gagney, and Jeff King. And I am not joking. And the winner is John Mayberry. First baseman John Mayberry had over 100 RBIs 3 times for Kansas City. In fact, he was the first player to do it in the franchise's history. In the 6 years he was with the Royals, from 72 to 77, John hit an average of 24 home runs. Did you know? Did you know that the Royals scored 7 runs versus the White Sox in the 9th inning to win 8-7? Yeah, Kansas City had 1 run on 6 hits before the 9th inning. It was the best comeback since June 15, 1979, when Kansas City came back down 11-2 in the 5th. And did you know, Brett Eibner was playing in only his 2nd Major League game that day. He doubled in the 9th and later in the inning hit the game-winning RBI single to score Drew Butera from 2nd on the 11th pitch with 2 outs to go in the game. It's trivia time! How big is Crown Vision? How big is that screen out there in the outfield? Is it A, 75 by 60 foot? Or is it B, 220 foot by 120 foot? Or is it C, 105 by 85 foot? Or is it D, 65 foot by 56 foot? What is the footage of the thing that shows all the footage? And it's C, 105 foot by 85 foot. It's one of the 4 largest screens in the league, and last year the Royals upgraded Crown Vision and replaced all its LED panels for ones with HDR capabilities. 138% pixel increase by doing that, along with new ribbon boards and outfield wall displays. Yes. I was on average the 12th overall MLB prospect coming into the 2009 season. July 15, 2010, I was promoted to AAA. On August 30th of that year, I was named the Texas League Player of the Year. That same night, I set an Omaha Royals record, 3 home runs and 11 RBIs in 1 game. I won the Joe Bauman Award, most home runs in the minors. I began my MLB career with KC on June 9, 2011. My first hit was on the next night against Irvin Santana, former Royal. I played in 89 games that year. The next year I set a Royals record with 47 straight games without an error, and double plays turn with 41, beating Martin with 34 of 2006. I did have some struggles in 2013 and 14 with my batting average. I was ready to go for the 2014 KC playoff run we had though. I led all major leaguers in home runs during the postseason that year, along with the great 2015 postseason. And during the 2015 season, on September 12th, I set an all-time team RBI record against the Baltimore Orioles with 9 of them, with grand slam, 3-run home run, and 2-run single. I got my average up to 284 with 22 home runs, 82 RBI, and of course I became a world champion. I'm a two-time All-Star for Kansas City. I became the fastest Royals player to ever reach 30 home runs in a season on July 28, 2017. I ended with 38, a Royals team record at the time. On July 28, 2018, I was traded to the Milwaukee Brewers. I hit a walk-off single in Game 1 of the National League Divisional Series versus the Colorado Rockies. On December 5, 2019, I signed the largest free agent deal in Cincinnati Reds history. I am someone the Royals saw today. Mike Moustakas. Moose! No, not that moose. How about this moose? It's now time for the Royal Way to take you through the years. And we are on the year 1976. On September 29, 1976, the Royals had arrived in Oakland to battle the AL champion A's. Oakland had won the previous 5 division titles, along with the World Series in 72, 73, and 74. Oakland lost the World Series to the Cincinnati Reds last year. The Royals were up 2.5 games with 4 to go, and Oakland and Minnesota Twins were in their way. And as we travel back in time, we'll notice that the Royals are in the AL West, and they won it that year in 1976. They finally got the best of the Oakland Athletics and stopped them in their tracks. The Twins take 3rd, Rangers 4th, Angels 5th, and the White Sox get last place, 25.5 games back of the Royals. And as we take a look at the 1976 defensive setup that year, Al Cowens takes over right field, Tom Poquette and Jim Wolford shared left field, Hal McRae played more DH, and 25-year-old Frank White is who you saw more at second base over 37-year-old Cookie Rojas. Yes, that's how the cookie crumbled. Your Royals' 1976 starting pitchers were Dennis Leonard, Al Fitzmaurice, Doug Bird, and Paul Splittorff, and Marty Patton. And as you see, they were all in the 3s on their ERA, which is great. The Royals played the Twins in the last series after clinching their first division title. The AL batting title was on the line that game, and George Brett ended up winning with a .333 average. Hal McRae ended with .332. Minnesota had 2 players in the race as well in the last game of the season, Rod Carew with .331 and Lyman Bostock with .323. The Twins misplayed a ball in the 9th inning hit by George Brett off the wall, which turned into an inside-the-park home run to raise his average to .333. Hal McRae afterwards grounded out to short, dropping his average below Brett's. Feeling cheated, Hal then flipped off the Twins bench, clearing the dugouts. He felt as if they let Brett win. I'm sure he was more upset with himself at the time. The 1976 Royals scored 713 runs and allowed 611. Amos Otis led the team in home runs with 18. John Mayberry drove in 95 runs. Freddie Patek stole 51 bases. In fact, 7 different players had 20 or more steals. Manager Whitey Herzog is a true advocate for base stealing. Starting pitching was great in 76. Catcher Fran Healy was traded for pitcher Larry Gura, like I said, which turned out great. Gura lasted 10 seasons with the Royals and Healy 76 games with the Yankees. Starting pitcher Dennis Leonard threw 16 complete games. On August 6th, the Royals were 12 games ahead as leaders in the West, but the young Royals almost let the pressure get to them as the season was getting close to the playoffs, losing 9 of the last 11. In 1976, only 4 teams advanced to the playoffs. So, we advanced and saw the Yankees and lost in a best-of-5 series 3-2. It was pretty close. The Yankees got the first game, we got the second game, they got the third, we got the fourth. Yep, went back and forth like that. Came down to the last and final 5th game, and that was history. Your 1976 Royals All-Stars were George Brett, Freddie Patek, Hal McRae, and Amos Otis. Oh, the Royals did have cheerleaders. And as we take a look at the awards for 1976, the league MVP was Thurman Munson and Joe Morgan, and Cy Young winners were Jim Palmer and Randy Jones. The 1976 World Series winner was the Cincinnati Reds over the New York Yankees. They got swept. The MVP was Johnny Bench. To be continued with 1977. Alright, Empire, that's all the time we have for now for today's episode. Catch me on Thursday for a brand new one. We're going to get ready for the regular season, the 54th season of the Kansas City Royals. Come on, let's get ready. Let's go Royals!